GamingBolt presents top 15 toughest bosses in Bloodborne. Even if you haven't played it, you've no doubt heard of From Software's Bloodborne. Coming from the house behind the Dark Souls series, Bloodborne is arguably even more acclaimed for its aesthetic, aggressive combat, and crazy bosses, and what bosses there are for you to tackle. As is usually the case with the Soul series, Bloodborne is full of tough bosses that will play with you like a lion plays with its still living meal. Here are our picks for the top 15 toughest bosses in Bloodborne, from difficult to dear lord, make it stop. ROM-THE vacuous spider. Taking place in quite a beautiful arena, ROM-THE vacuous spider will nonetheless make things mildly irritating as you take in the sights. Along with area of effect attacks, both close and long range, ROM keeps spawning these little spiders. They're not tough, but they can detract away from the boss. Focusing on ROM himself can become tricky, especially when up to 30 spiders are on screen. If you play this fight carefully, watch your flank, and just waylay ROM, it's winnable. PTHUMERIAN Descendant. A lot of the toughest bosses in Bloodborne can be found in the game's Chalice dungeons. PTHUMERIAN Descendant is one such terror. Not only is his arena full of pillars, making it hard to maneuver, but he can actually hurl his shottle through these same pillars because why not? Parrying is helpful, as is dodging. The most annoying part of this fight is the Descendant's speed and his lack of tells. VICAR AMELIA. Like the next boss on this list, VICAR AMELIA is particularly punishing to those who keep their distance. Her reach is strong, outputting a good amount of damage, and it doesn't help that she can heal when things get dire. The solution? As always, get in close behind her, dodge those attacks, and use fire paper with a serrated weapon. Don't forget to go visceral on her when you can and stop her healing phase. MARTYR LOGARIUS. MARTYR LOGARIUS may seem like an overly tough boss, and make no mistake, he is. Keeping your distance exposes you to his brutal magic. Getting in close is the key to success. Dodging his spells, parrying him when he melees, and attack from behind when he's charging up his scythe. The second part of the fight can be tougher as Logarius unleashes more melee attacks, and not destroying his sword he plants in the ground can end things quickly. Logarius is no pushover even when you know what to do, but at least you'll have a fighting chance. Father Gascoigne. In retrospect, Father Gascoigne probably isn't that tough. He encourages you to get in his face, assaulting him, staggering him, and then dodging when he goes all werewolf form. The graves in the cemetery are also good for blocking him as you back off. However, for most new players, Gascoigne can be a terror with fast attacks, decent damage at range, and unforgivable combos in his second form. As it stands, Gascoigne is a teacher for Bloodborne's mechanics, and a brutal one at that. Lady Maria of the Astral Clocktower. Lady Maria is beautiful, bold, and will outright destroy you if given half a chance. The fight itself doesn't seem all that hard at first, but Maria will buff herself with blood magic and then fire magic, giving her tons more killing power. Her combos aren't awfully hard to read, and staggering her is a plus, but never underestimate Maria if you even have the slightest desire to live. Bloodletting Beast. Okay, wow. This guy just hates everything and everyone. Residing in the Chalice dungeon, the Bloodletting Beast deals massive amounts of damage, both with his insane swipes, which have crazy reach, and large area effect slam. It's a matter of patience as you dodge the beast, hit him a few times, and then roll away. Getting it to work in practice is the tough part, especially with that annoying slam. LAURENCE, the First Vicar. Similar to the Cleric Beast fought in the initial hours of the game, LAURENCE, the First Vicar is a Chalice dungeon version that is leaps and bounds more difficult. Large reach is a given, but now you have to contend with fire damage on all attacks. Sure, you can get behind and attack, but the second phase of this fight sees LAURENCE chopping off his legs, crawling around, spewing lava, slamming to the ground, and just being a nuisance overall. It's a tough fight, but knowing when to attack conservatively will win the day. Defiled AMYGDALA. Though AMYGDALA wasn't a big deal in the campaign, the Chalice dungeon version, which is the same dungeon as the next boss on this list, is particularly tough. You have 50% of your total health to start with, and the Defiled AMYGDALA deals a crazy amount of damage. It's enough to outright destroy you with one hit, and she has tons of health, like 22,000 plus health. Have fun not getting hit throughout. Watchdog of the Old Lords. Another Chalice dungeon boss, yes, but the Watchdog of the Old Lords is only second to LORÁN DARKBEAST in that respect. Its attacks have large hitboxes, thus destroying you even if you seemingly dodged. The amount of damage dealt is only compounded by your health being reduced by half throughout the dungeon. The Watchdog moves and attacks quickly, and even when you master attacking his head, you're still in for a long, frustrating fight. Ludwig the Accursed / the Holy Blade. Some of you will probably think Ludwig is easy, others will find him to be the toughest boss in all of Bloodborne. Seriously, there are people out there. Ludwig starts out as the Accursed, is armed with hunter attacks, and has enough limbs to knock you around. The main problem is he deals a lot of damage in his first form, but his second form sees him become Ludwig, the Holy Blade. He gains a large, glowing sword with an attack that covers the area in front of him. It can be avoided, but its one-shot potential is real. Coupled with a large health pool, Ludwig is probably one of the tougher and more fun fights in the old hunters. EBRIETAS, Daughter of the Cosmos. First of all, this is why you should brush your teeth, kids. Secondly, EBRIETAS, Daughter of the Cosmos, is pretty tough even if you know the trick to beating her. Sticking close behind her to avoid her wide-sweeping attacks is key, especially when their speed makes it difficult to assault from the front. She'll keep moving though, so you'll have to bypass the front and get behind. While EBRIETAS' head can be attacked for large amounts of damage, it's tough, and at 50%, she'll use a Call Beyond, 3 waves of arcane missiles that deal tons of damage and can almost certainly kill you. GEHRMAN, the First Hunter. Make one mistake and it will be your last. Sure, GEHRMAN can be parried, GEHRMAN can be staggered, at least in his first form, but do you think GEHRMAN gives a damn? No. With a large scythe that has incredible reach and chops off large amounts of health, GEHRMAN can incorporate jump attacks in his powered-up state on top of his abnormal speed. It takes a lot of practice, but the most important parts of fighting GEHRMAN, which is probably the toughest part, is not getting hit. LORÁN DARKBEAST. Hey, do you remember the annoying Darkbeast Parl? LORÁN DARKBEAST lurking in the Chalice dungeons is even worse. You can't lock onto him since the camera goes insane, his lightning damage is legit, and his jumping attack has a huge area of coverage. Staying under him is a good way to avoid damage, but overall, you need more luck than skill to best this Darkbeast. ORPHAN of Kos. After fighting the baddest of the bad, from the Great Ones to GEHRMAN himself, ORPHAN of Kos will probably look like an old street tramp in his birthday suit. However, his patterns are incredibly erratic. He travels with mind-numbing speed, and his damage output is incredibly high. Kos's patterns are especially tough because so many of his attacks look the same. What's coming when? These are the questions that will annoy you through many, many deaths, and hopefully they're quick if Kos is feeling merciful. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.